Hello and welcome to Cognito Key. Today we're going to do something pretty amazing. We're going to crack the code of life itself. Yeah, I'm talking about that secret language that's written inside every single living cell.
All right, so let's just jump right in. Picture this. Inside every single one of your cells, there's this incredible molecule, DNA. You can think of it as the ultimate instruction manual for you. But here's the mind-blowing part. This super complex manual, it's written with an alphabet of only 4 letters. Just 4. A, T, C, and G. So the big question is, how on earth can just 4 letters write the entire complicated story of a human being? Or a tree, or a jellyfish for that matter?
When scientists first tackled this, they thought of it like a math puzzle. They thought, okay, what if the code uses 2-letter words? Well, if you do the math, that gives you exactly 16 different combinations. But there was a big problem. Our bodies need 20 different building blocks, these things called amino acids, to make everything work. So 16 words for 20 ingredients? Nope, not going to work. It was a complete dead end. So what was the answer? It's actually so elegant. Nature just added 1 more letter. Instead of 2-letter words, it uses a 3-letter system. And with 3 letters, you suddenly jump to 64 possible combinations. Now that is more than enough for the 20 amino acids we need. In fact, that extra space, that surplus, is super important and gives the code some of its coolest features. We'll get to that in a minute.
Okay, so how in the world did we figure all of this out? Let's dive into Section 1 and meet the scientific detectives who cracked this code and see what they found.
This was a real-life detective story. It all started in the 50s with a physicist, George Gamow, who just looked at the math and said, hey, it's got to be a 3-letter code. But the real proof, the aha moment, came in 1961 from Marshall Nirenberg. What he did was genius. He made a simple message with just 1 letter, U, over and over again. And guess what? The cell read it and pumped out a protein made of just 1 amino acid, phenylalanine. Boom! The first word was officially cracked. After that, the incredible George and Khorana and his team basically went through and figured out the rest of the dictionary, word by word.
Okay, so here's the key term you need to know. These 3-letter words that we keep talking about, they're officially called codons. A codon is that basic unit, that one single word in the genetic language. Every time the cell reads a set of 3 letters, it's reading 1 codon, 1 instruction.
And what's the instruction? Well, each codon tells the cell which ingredient to grab. And those ingredients are the amino acids. We've got 20 essential types, and just like with cooking, by putting them together in different orders and different lengths, our cells can build just about anything.
So, you follow the recipe of codons. You string together the amino acid ingredients, and what do you get? You get the final dish, a protein. And proteins are, well, they're everything. They are the tiny machines that do all the heavy lifting in our cells. They build our muscles, carry oxygen, digest our food, pretty much everything that makes us, us.
All right, so we've got the words, the ingredients, and the final dish. But how does the cell actually read the recipe? Let's take a look at how this whole blueprint gets interpreted.
Any good book needs punctuation, right? You need to know where a sentence begins. The genetic code is no different. You can't just start reading in the middle of a word. There's a special codon, AUG, that basically screams, start reading here. When the cell's machinery sees AUG, it knows, okay, a new recipe is starting, let's go.
And of course, if you have a start signal, you absolutely need a stop signal. You have to know when the recipe is done. And for that, there are 3 special codons. Their only job is to be a full stop. They don't code for any ingredient. They just tell the machinery, all right, we're done, cut the chain, and release the finished protein. It's the period at the end of the sentence.
And here it is, the whole thing, the complete dictionary for all of life. This chart lays it all out, all 64 codons and what each one means. You can see right here our start codon, AUG. And there are the 3 stop codons we just talked about. This chart, this is literally the Rosetta Stone for translating the language of DNA into the stuff we're actually made of.
And what's so beautiful about this is that it's not just a random jumble of words. There are rules, really elegant and powerful rules that govern the whole system. So let's get into the properties that make this code so incredibly robust.
It really boils down to 4 main ideas. The code is universal, it's unambiguous, it's redundant, and it's read continuously, without any gaps. Okay, that might sound a bit technical, so let's break down what each of those actually means. Let's start with universal, because this one is, wow, it's mind-boggling. It means that pretty much every living thing on Earth uses the exact same code. So the codon that tells your cells to grab a certain amino acid, it tells a mushroom to do the same thing. And the bacteria in your stomach, same code. It is one shared language for the entire planet.
Next up, redundant. Now remember how we had 64 codons but only 20 amino acids? That extra space is used for redundancy. It means that you can have multiple different words for the same ingredient. So, for example, both UAU and UAC will get you the amino acid tyrosine. Why is this so clever? It's a built-in spell check. If there's a small typo, a mutation in the DNA, there's a good chance it will just switch to another codon for the same amino acid. The final protein comes out perfect. It's a fantastic safety net.
But here's the other side of that coin. While many words can mean the same thing, one word can never mean two different things. That's what unambiguous means. The codon UAU will always code for tyrosine. It will never, ever get confused and grab something else. This precision is absolutely critical. You have to build your proteins correctly every single time.
Okay, so let's zoom out. What's the big picture here? Why does all of this matter so much? Well, it really comes down to our fundamental connection to all life.
This code, it's the master blueprint. It's the software that turns the digital information stored in DNA into the physical world of proteins and cells and, well, us. It's basically the operating system for planet Earth.
And that leaves us with a pretty deep thought, doesn't it? The fact that you, and a banana, and a giant blue whale all read from the same genetic dictionary, what does that tell you? If all of life speaks the same fundamental language, it's powerful evidence that we all came from the same place, that we all share a single common ancestor.
It's just incredible, isn't it? This shared code is such a beautiful piece of evidence for the simple, elegant, and common origin of all life. I hope you enjoyed this deep dive into life's secret language. If you did, please do us a huge favor and hit that like button. Share this with anyone you think might find it interesting. And of course, subscribe to Cognito Key so you don't miss our next explainer. Thank you so much for watching.